ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Okay, any questions, clarifications on what we have seen up to now? Or everything is clear? Clear? Okay. Then let us go ahead. Still joining. Okay. So last time we saw Sama Loshtashama Kanchana with all the objects of the world. The wise person appreciates the objective value but does not add a subjective value to it. If you want to relate this to our life, for you, your wedding ring will be very important. The jeweler sees it only as so much of gold. That's it. The value you attach to it over and above the value of gold is purely subjective. That's what makes life interesting, nothing wrong in that. Okay. But recognizes the subjective value. If you take it to the jeweler, you cannot demand extra money because it is your wedding ring. He will give you the cost of the gold, generally minus 10%. So, that's how it is. No? You cannot have a subjective value added onto it. And none of us live in the world as it is. In Ishvara Srishti, in the way Ishvara made this world, none of us live in it. We live in a world of what we make out of it, with all our subjective value structure added onto it. A huge amount of it. If you look at it, subjectivity is huge. You will understand that if you are cleaning up your cupboard after a long time, your wardrobe after a long time. If you are cleaning it up every 6 months, no, but if you are cleaning it up after 4 or 5 years or 3 years, so many things you are keeping it because of a subjective value. Purely subjective value, not an objective value. You probably will never wear that thing again. Purely subjective. It's got nothing to do with the objective value of the thing. Yeah. It's purely subjective in nature. Yeah. What is objective about certain things? Yeah. Like whenever I wanted to throw out my uniforms, my mother would never allow it. My naval uniform, where am I ever going to wear it? I have taken the robes, even then she wouldn't allow it. No, keep it. Okay, Baba. For your sake, keep it. That's okay. It's perfectly fine to recognize and acknowledge somebody else's subjective value. Perfectly okay. What's wrong in that? Nothing wrong in that. Perfectly okay. There is no problem about that. The problem is only if you have that subjective value. Even having a subjective value is not a problem. You have a subjective value, okay, Baba. Fine. You recognize it and you deal with it, no issues. If you recognize it and deal with it accordingly, there is no issue. It is adding on those emotional subjectivity to it and functioning, bringing it into your functioning. And we all have certain things in our life. Some of it can be inspiring, some of it may not be inspiring. The wise person recognizes it for what it is and deals with it objectively. He may also have a subjective value, but he recognizes only subjective. Like, for example, I wear this mala. I use it for my japa. In fact, it has been well polished. With a lot of japa I have done. Do you need this mala to do the japa? No. You don't need this mala. Then why are you keeping it? Because it's nice to use a mala to do japa. You can keep track very nicely. And this, my guru had given it to me when I first decided to become full-time. Now look at it. My guru has given it to me when I decided to go full-time. It's a subjective value to me. Supposing it breaks, all the links break off, 2-3 links break off, and I give it to the character to tie it up again. For him, it's another bead to tie. You mean to say this mala has got something extra? Nah, it's a mala. Yeah, it's a mala. Memory of my guru. Fine. Do you need a mala to have a memory of your guru? Every time I teach, my guru speaks through me. Are you getting the idea? The whole thing, one has to keep this in mind. This is exactly what he's saying. He spoke with respect to objects in the world. Next verse, he is talking the same with respect to people in the world.
Okay. So what did Master?
Any question? Or they were talking at home? Okay. Suhin mitraha udasinah adhyastam adhyasvadveshu bandhushu sadhushu api cha papeshu samabuddhihi vishishyate. Samabuddhihi vishishyate. The person who has got samatva buddhi. Samatva buddhi is, Shankara commenting on it says, okay, samam hi nirgunam brahma. What is samam? The same in everything is nirgunam brahma, pure consciousness. Therefore, brahmani te stitaha. Therefore, you are rooted in the Brahman. You are recognizing the Brahman in everything, in everyone. What is that? Suhran, a friend, a buddy. Okay, Suhran, a well-wisher. Mitra, a friend. Suhran is a well-wisher. Mitra is a friend. Okay. Arihi. Okay. Udasinaha. Someone neutral. Okay. Madhyastaha. Madhyastaha is an arbitrator, the one in between, who is neutral to both sides but can arbitrate a conflict. Okay. Dveshu, people whom you don't like, who are inimical to you. Bandhushu, relatives. I don't know why Krishna has put those together, probably because most of us don't get along very well with our relatives. Okay. At least Arjuna did not get, okay. Pandavas and others were relatives. Okay. With respect, then sadhushu api, a sadhu. Sadhu does not necessarily mean a sannyasi, a good person. Sadhu is a good person. So don't say good sadhu. Minimum qualification for being a sadhu is being a good person, okay? For sadhushu. Okay? Api papeshu. Criminals. Okay? For the criminals. In all of them he says what? Samabuddhihi. Samabuddhihi. Buddhi is same. Okay? Buddhihi is same. Buddhi is the same. The buddhi doesn't change. Okay, there is a small problem here. Give me a minute, okay? Because in one of my groups, there is this lady. Okay, maybe I can ask somebody else to do it. Sunita, can you do me a favor? Just forward the link to Gurubhyo Namaha. Shravani is struggling to enter.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Because in this group is very interesting. One of the students in this group will send the link every Saturday with a funny, what do you call it, GIF or a motif asking people to mute their phones. Very funny thing she'll send, you know. Mogambo mute ho gaya. Or something like that. Very funny. So Shravani is part of that group. And since the link has not come, if you have deleted the previous messages, today she is not there in the class. She lost her father-in-law, so she is not there. Okay, yeah. Yesterday shit happened, so she is not there today. So that's what has happened. Now look at the people enumerated here. Okay, look at the people enumerated. Yeah, Sunita, that works. Shravani is already in. Yeah. So, if you are looking at the people enumerated, from a sadhu to a criminal, from an enemy to a relative, and towards all of them, samabuddhihi. Does this mean you are going to treat all of them the same?
No, Swami.
Yeah, only a fool will do that. Yes, only a fool will do that. Yeah. No, only a fool. Even the leftists who advocate we should be compassionate towards the terrorists, treat them with honor, treat them kindly, etc., will not like to take the terrorists home. That advice is for other people. Okay. They are misguided people. And why don't you take them home, give them a meal, and then find out what happens after that? You will not survive. You will not survive. A sadhu is not a person with a Californian empathy. Why I am saying Californian empathy? It's a term I have coined, okay? There is more empathy towards the perpetrator of an act rather than the victim of that action. One has to be. Most terrorists, I'm not saying all terrorists, most terrorists are beyond redemption. They've been brainwashed so much. Unless they are young and only a few months into this act, then there is some hope. Like out of some enthusiasm, they left for Iraq. And then they found out that how tough the whole thing was, and they want to come back. And they email or call their relatives, I want to come back. People like that have a hope. But hardened terrorists, they're beyond hope. You can't go and give them a what? A jadoo ka jappi, as that film goes, Sanjay Dutt film. You can't, it doesn't solve anything. The only jadoo ka jappi you can give them is out of the mouth of a pistol. Okay? Or something more powerful. Yeah. That's all you can give them. So, the wise person will unhesitatingly do that. And naturally he will treat a friend. Naturally a friend is a friend. See, the wise person is friendly to everyone. Okay? Universally. Friendly. That is one part of it. That was the other part. But some people have become his friends. No? Some people have become his friends. Some people have become his friends. Why? Because he is equally friendly to. Have you reached out and become a friend? He is friendly to everyone. You can become a friend also. Therefore, to each of them he will treat taking the functional aspects into account. Taking the functional aspects into account. The criminal. As somebody said, I forget the author who said this. There, but for the grace of God goes me. Because of God's grace, I did not become someone like that. I could have. Anyone can. You mean to say none of us can become criminals? All of us have a dark side. The sooner you acknowledge that and deal with it, the better it is. All of us have a dark side. Every one of us. Who doesn't have a dark side? The shadow side. We all have. That's why along with worshipping Shiva, you will worship Shiva Ganas also. Shiva Ganas are supposed to represent the dark side, okay? Yeah, you have that. So all of us have it. So it's good to acknowledge that in us, no? And deal with it. Yeah. I am not capable of doing this. Don't bluff me. There's an old poem I read somewhere, It's a British poem about war. Okay. How in a war death comes roaring out of the ground, it comes roaring out of the skies. It comes roaring out of the trees. Okay. We that have seen the strongest cry like a beaten child, the cleanest hands defiled, the holiest eyes unholy. We that have seen men broken, we know that man is divine. Very true. It's very, very true. We all have that. Okay? We all have that. If you acknowledge it and accept it, you can deal with it very, very easily as it comes up. In stray cases, it will come up. Or if it is strong, it will hijack you when you least expect it. Therefore, in fact, if you really want for this knowledge to be integrated into you, you should deal with your dark side. Okay? Maybe some time when we can meet offline in a camp or something, we can do some exercises in terms of getting in touch with our own dark sides and how to deal with that. Okay? Very, very interesting about the dark side. When I first got introduced to my dark side, I was fascinated by it. Yeah. That's how you learn to deal with it. Wow, you have this part also. Anyway, all that apart, that is how the criminal becomes criminal. His dark side has overcome. There's an old Indian story like that. A grandfather telling grandson, inside me there are two wolves. One is very compassionate, strong, peaceful, caring. The other is mean, vengeful, and they're always in conflict with each other. Says, Grandpa, who will win? The wolf I feed. The wolf I feed will win. Now, the wise person goes beyond that. You are aware of both. You are dealt with both. You can be compassionate when you want to be. You can be ruthless when you want to be. Why? Isn't there times you have to be ruthless in life? If you would not have had to be ruthless, consider yourself maybe fortunate, maybe unfortunate that you couldn't get in touch with this part of your life. Many of us who are seniors in our work, how difficult it was for you to fire somebody. Fire somebody meaning ask him to leave the job. Not fire as giving a scolding. No. Yeah. You need the dark side that time, isn't it? Yeah. And if you are a compassionate person, you will know how to do it with as much compassion as possible. Anyway, the wise person goes beyond the two. So he recognizes this in everyone. What is there? He deals with the person as necessary. He also sees that in the most cruel terrorist and the holiest of the holy people, in all of them, all that is there is one consciousness. Can you see the Atma of the terrorist is not pure consciousness? A terrorist maybe, but not my in-law, not my neighbor. Doesn't work like that, okay? Doesn't work like that. Yeah. It's one pure consciousness in everyone. Then, what is different? All that is different is mithya. All that is different is a dependent reality, not factual. Not at all factual. Then where is the problem? Yeah. There is no problem at all. Provided you have recognized the truth. Otherwise, this won't happen. Okay? You should be comfortable with the truth. As comfortable as you are now about the fact you are a human being, you must be that comfortable with the truth, with the reality. Okay, that is what he is saying in that. Suhan Mitra Udasina Madhyastam Desha Athadveshu Bandhushu Sadhushu Apishu Papeshu Samabuddhihi Vishishyate. Okay. Now, next few verses, he is actually talking about the process of meditation. I'll explain it first. If there is time, we will do it. Otherwise, we will do it next time. Okay? If there is time, we will do it. Very simple, basic thing he is talking about. So, we will start with the basic and we will expand it to deeper things as well. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sitaha ekaki yatha chittatma nirashiya parigraha. The verse is not complete because there is no verb there still, okay? But let me take it in bits and pieces instead of reading 3 verses and explaining all of it together. Yogi yunjita satatam. The yogi, he is together. First qualification for meditation. There has to be a certain amount of integration in the personality. Okay? There should be a certain relaxation about you. Okay? Then, Atmanam Rahasi Sthitaha. Rahasi, don't take it as hidden. Okay? Hide yourself. No. You stay in you take to a place where you will not be disturbed. Okay. Or a time where you will not be disturbed. If not place. Because Bombay we still live in small houses. Okay. Okay. Remember, all these instructions are not meant for Arjuna, okay? Arjuna did not require meditation. He had done that as a kid onwards. Okay? He has done that as a kid onwards, so he didn't require it. But okay, Atmanam Rahasi Sthitaha, sitting in a quiet place. Ekaki Yachat Chittatma. Ekaki, alone. You don't need company for meditation. Let us meditate together. What together? Yeah, you can have a guided meditation session where a teacher guides you through a meditation. Swamiji, why don't you record this so that we can play it and meditate? Yeah, you can do that initially. But meditation has to be independently done by people. So ekaki here means like that. You can have guided meditations initially a little bit so that you get the process all right. But it has to be done independently. That's why teachers don't always take a meditation class every time. Every class meditation. No. They will teach, let you do it. They may give you a refresher and then let you do it. It has to be done on your own. Okay? It's an independent activity. Yata Chittatma, with the mind mastered. These are all qualifications. If your mind is running haywire, what meditation are you going to do? That means what? Before you even attempt meditation, you should have a certain degree of calmness in your mind. Must have lived a life of Karma Yoga. Why? What is it that disturbs your mind? Raga Dveshas only. What else disturbs your mind? Tell me. You can give very sophisticated reasons. It is this, it is this, it is that, all psychological background. This paradigm, that paradigm. Yeah. When at the end of the day is what you like, what you don't dislike. What you don't like. What you like, what you don't like. That's all that is there at the end of the day. Why you like this, why you don't like that, you can give me sophisticated theories. But what is it that is disturbing your mind? What you like or you don't like. You met somebody whom you can't stand. You're thinking of that character even after the character has gone. He's staying in your mind without paying you rent. Yeah. Those who like, they live in your heart. They live in your heart, no problem. Let them not live here, okay? Yeah. Therefore, okay, Nirashi Apparigraha. Nirashi, hopeless. नहीं, ये बड़ी सी आशा या छोटी सी आशा नहीं है. There is a song, ये छोटी सी आशा. Simple girl, small desires. If you have desires, say in Karma Yoga, I'll deal with it in my life. Right now, keep it away. Or grow into a person for whom the asha does not disturb. The only asha that has got a right to disturb you is your maid who comes and asks you what to do. Okay. The asha, the girl next door, should not be a disturbance. You should have dealt with it in your heart. Or physically, whatever, but deal with it. I don't care how you get out of it, but deal with it. Process left to your choice. Which guru will give this much of freedom? Okay. You know, everything has to be done within certain parameters of dharma, etc. Okay. Therefore, nirashi, you've grown out of the hold of desires. Desires may be there, but they can't really disturb you. Aparigraha, you're not holding on to things. You're not holding on to things. The term householder has a lot of meaning, you know. You're holding on to the house and sitting down. Not holding on to anything. Agate swagatam kuryat gachantam na nivarayet. And it comes, welcome it. When it goes, don't try to hold it back. Goodbye. Don't sing kabhi alvida na kahna. कम से कम खुदा हाफिज तो बोलना पड़ेगा. If not alvida, okay. For those who understand the different terms, okay. Alvida is goodbye. Khuda Hafiz is until we, God willing, we will meet again. So one has got a more permanent nature. Okay. Comes and goes. You are not holding on to anything. No thing, no person. How can you hold on to persons? A person is not a possession. A person is not a possession. Any word you use to describe a person in your life will be a relationship. Wife, husband, etc. Relationship. Guru, also a relationship. Isn't it? No? It's always a relationship. Not holding on to it. Now, you may need a few support of a few people in your life. Husband, wife, kids. Yeah. It's okay. To use their support is fine. But to hold on, to get possessive, and this creates too many issues. That person should behave like how I want to be. That person will behave like how the person can. We can negotiate for something common. We can see that you are doing your duty towards each other. That much is dharma. That much expectation is beautiful. Why? Because there is a relationship. Otherwise, where there is a relationship? Therefore, expectation from each other is dharma based. Dharma based. Then there will be no issue. We make the expectation from each other behavior based. You know, it is not easy to have a behavior based relationship. And if you are a behaviorist, meaning you are going by the behavior to judge a person, you are in a big soup. I always tell this story when I am illustrating this. There was this lady whom I am in touch with even now, very regularly I am in touch with. Okay. Now this lady would say, I and my husband has got a nice working relationship. They had a grown-up son and everything. We have a nice working relationship, but love, etc. 25 years of marriage, no. I said, no, your husband does love you, I know that. I know my husband. Okay. Why do you say that? He's never done a loving action in his life. He has never done a loving action in his life. Now, being sometimes, I behave with a little restraint. Because I don't want to turn around and ask her, how come you got a kid, okay? So I behave with a little restraint when it comes to a personal thing. He said, okay, maybe not. I said, love is there, maybe he's not expressing it in the way you want it. No. Our teamwork is good. There is no intimacy of love, etc. I said, okay, I let it go. Why should I hold on to my idea? Aparigraha, I let go of that idea. Chalo, theek hai. If that's what she feels, that's what it is. Then within 2 weeks, something very interesting happened. You know, this man is a creature of habit. He will walk in from work at 8 o'clock in the night. You can set your watch. So 5 minutes to 8, this lady started heating up the dinner. And he walks in, okay, and nods to each other. And he goes in. When she is making some papad, so frying that papad, a drop of oil splashed on her cheek. So involuntarily she said, ah. And then quickly went to the wash basin, to the sink, and splashed some water on her face. Hearing that sound, the husband came in. What happened? No, a drop of oil, nothing. And she sees the guy walking out of the door. Says, what is he doing? I'm heating up dinner. What is he walking out of the door for? In 5 minutes, he is back with a tube of Bernol. Why? See, it's a long day for him. He has come home at 8 o'clock and he was looking to kick off his shoes and his coat and everything and relax up. But he has gone out and got a tube of Bernol. But he is not romantic. Why? Because he doesn't get roses for her. He doesn't get roses for her. Now what do I say? Yeah, the guy is too pragmatic. He won't get roses, but he will definitely get you. What is pragmatic? That is his background. He knows only to function like that. But if you are going to feel loved only if he does a particular action, then I feel sorry for you. Because what else can I say? Can you recognize how the other person expresses his feelings or her feelings? Most women express love by feeding you, especially towards children. How is love expressed in the Indian context, especially? Food. Yeah, how else is it expressed? So, there are cultural constructs in how you do things like that. So, if you are going, why I am saying this, we are talking about holding on, okay? Parigraha, all this is holding on to notions and ideas. Because we are talking about people, aparigraha. We recognize that person and what the person is doing. It may be, then life can be something very beautiful. Of course, sometimes that expression can be problematic. I accept that. That also one has to recognize. Like my mother had a habit. I'd walk in home at 11 o'clock in the night and she would be watching TV. Then she'll turn around and say, have you had your food? Yes, ma, I had my dinner. No problems. Fine. There is food in the fridge if you want. I said, fine. If I feel hungry, I will take it. I'm okay. I've had my dinner. Shall I heat up some food? Now, I know she's expressing love, but I have left home at 6 o'clock in the morning and coming at 11 o'clock at the night. I also need a break. I'll say, Mom, okay. I'm not saying anything more. So that was established pattern of behavior. Were you angry with her? No. That's all she knows. And she doesn't respond to anything else except me saying, Mom. Pattern. Okay. It becomes pattern. This is how behavior patterns are established in relationships. Aparigraha. You are not holding on to those patterns. Because who in modern day holds on to things in today's life? How many of us really hold on to things? Car? 7-8 years you change it, na minimum. Your dresses, phones, TVs. But you hold on to people. And what is it that you're holding on to people and wanting them to be like that? Certain patterns of behavior. Those are the problematic areas. That is what disturbs you. The person did this, said it, did not do it, did not say it. These are the things that happen. It's not only now, it's through history, okay? I have done a grief recovery workshop based on this. And it goes back to our, what do you call, Shraddha mantras and everything like that. So this is an old pattern. We always did this. The joke is that husband and wife try to change each other for the last 20 years and then complain he or she is not the person I married. You change the person so much. What are you complaining now? He is not the person that he was. 20 years we are consistently working on changing him or her. How can the person be the same? Aparigraha, this is a value that will work right across in all things. But here we are talking more in terms of meditation. This is the person. This is the person, the meditator. Okay? To go again. Yunjita satatam, together. Sitting in a secluded place. Ekaki, independent by yourself. Yata chittatma, mastered mind. Nirashi, without longings, etc. And aparigraha, not holding on to things. Such a person, what should he be doing? Suchau deshe pratishtaya stiram asanam atmanaha natyuchitam nachanitam nicham chalai janakushauttaram tatre ekagram manakritva yata chittendriya kriyaha upaveshyasya asane junjyat yogam atma vishuddhaye. What should he do? Suchau deshe pratishtaya. Okay. Take to a place which is clean. How do you like to do a place of meditation? To be dirty, messy, etc. Well, once you have mastered meditation, you can meditate anywhere. Including in a crowded Bombay train, okay? You can do that. But be careful. You may find when you come out of meditation, your wallet, etc. is not with you. But you'll have the ability to do that. But in the beginning, Suchau deshe, in a clean place, pratishtaya. Stiram asanam atmanaha. Have a stiram asanam, a stable seat. You are not balancing. Okay. There are balancing exercises also for mastering your mind, but this is not one of them. Stiram asanam, stable setup, a stable place, a stable seat, where it should be na ati uchyam, na ati uchyam. Should not be very high compared to the surrounding. High or low depends upon the surrounding. There was a time when my meditation seat was 12,000 feet above sea level. Why? Because I was meditating in Kedarnath. But with respect to your surroundings, you can't be sitting on a mountain peak on top. You should not feel unstable because of that. Nati nicham, not too low, where everything is towering above you and you feel dwarfed. Not too high, not too low. I think most of you where you're seated right now could be comfortable for your meditation. Okay. Chalai jina kushotaram. Okay. Okay. He is giving you what the seat should be made of. First, a layer of kusha grass, a mat. Then, deer skin on top of that. Then, a cloth on top of that. Swamiji, now I know why my meditation is not successful. I don't have a deer skin or a tiger skin. It's illegal now, okay, to have tiger skin and deer skins. Because those days we used to sit on the ground. Okay, the ground could be damp. Okay, because we didn't have the marble flooring and all. We believed in being in touch with Mother Earth. Therefore, our houses always had that flooring like that. So they could be damp. And when you are sitting cross-legged on the ground, okay, your lower extremities are in contact with the ground. You don't want you to be affected by the dampness, get arthritis, etc. because you meditated. Okay. Therefore, you put something on the ground and sit, where the dampness or the coldness, even now, because Bombay is very pleasant now, when you sit with your feet on the ground for a long time, you will feel your feet as cold. No? So, that's why they say, put something. If you don't have anything, I'm sure all of you have a yoga mat, whether you do yoga at home or not. Whatever it is, put a cushion and sit on it. Sit cross-legged on your sofa. Do you have to sit cross-legged? If you can't sit cross-legged, don't. Sit. It doesn't matter. Meditation is done with your mind. Okay. Okay. Chilai jana kushottaram. Tatra ekagram manakrutva. Learn to focus your mind, he says. Keep your mind calm and focus. Ekagram. Yata chittendriya kriyaha. How do you do that? By controlling it from mental and indriya kriya. Sense organ activities. That means what? Sense organs which you are not going to use your hands and legs. You are not going to use your organs of action. You are going to use eyes, ears, etc. Withdraw from that. This is called pratyahara in yoga. Withdrawal. Keep it all outside. Keep it all outside. Okay? Yata chitti indriya kriya. Okay, then Upavishya asane yunjat. Then Upavishya asane, sitting in the bed. Okay, yunjat, what? Yogam atma shuddhaye. This dhyana yoga for atma shuddhaye, for purification of your mind. What is the purification we are talking about suddenly here? The purification is that vikshepa, the disturbance, the habit of that monkey mind. See, mind has to move fast. That's important. Otherwise, you will not be able to see things quickly. And you need to see things quickly. Therefore, the mind has to move fast. Okay. At the same time, the mind has to learn to drop that thinking. Those of us who have learned to drop thinking can get to sleep fast. Vice versa may not be true. Just because you sleep fast doesn't mean you have dropped your thinking. But you may be so tired at the end of the day that you hit the bed and you go off. Okay. Those of you who have problem in sleeping, there are some nice YouTube videos of how soldiers go to sleep in 2 minutes flat. You know what we call this? You're flying for a mission. It's a 1 hour flight. What do? You're going to be parachuted into enemy territory, okay? What are you going to do? Rack time. Rack time is catch a nap. Why? Intense activity waits. Gather your resources. Don't dissipate them in worry, anxiety, etc. Rack time. If the sadhus like us, we will contemplate. We will contemplate. Meditate. That's even better than rack time. Okay? But you can't teach meditation to every soldier and every commando. And we do little bit, but not too much. Okay. Therefore, he says, Atma Vishuddhe. These disturbed patterns of the mind, you have to learn to drop. Okay. Yeah, someone has asked a question that, that the conditioning of being always disturbed. See, it need not be always worry based, etc. It may be simple habitual thing. I'll show you all how to do this. But let us understand the process here. Then step by step we will do it next time. Okay? Step by step, every step we will cover. How to break this conditioning of the mind, all that I will say. Okay? Then what? How should your body be? Samakaya shiragrivam dharayan achalam stiraha sampraksha nasikagram swam disaschavalokayan prashantatma vigatabihi brahmachari vrate stitaha manas samyamya macchittaha yukta asit matparaha. Simple. Samam kaya shira grivam. Your body, your head and your neck in one alignment, in a simple natural alignment. Dharayan achalam stiraha. Hold it in that posture without shaking. In meditation, you are not rocking forward and backward. This is good when you are trying to chant and by heart something. This pattern will help you do that. But here, you are not by hearting, you are not chanting, you are not doing anything. Okay? Nothing. Sampreksha nasika agram swam. Where are you looking? This is always a big confusion. Tip of your nostrils. The tip is here or here. Both are tip. End nostril here or here. Then the Chinese will never be able to meditate. Nose, for me, I should be very easy because I have a big nose. Without making an effort, I can see it. Because when God was distributing noses, I thought he said roses and ordered a big red one for myself. So some of us have like that. Very nice. The idea is just pick up a point of focus so that eye is not going elsewhere. That is why he says in the next line itself, this is cha anavalokayan. With your eyes not seeing anything. Either a point of focus or close your eyes. So that your eyes are not seeing anything. Okay. This is Shanavalokayan. Prashantatma should already be quietened. Okay. Some calmness should be there in you. You don't meditate to become calm. You become calm first and then you meditate. I'm disturbed, Swamiji. I want to meditate. No. Karma Yoga lifestyle, make yourself calm. Then you meditate. Not the other way around. Okay. Vigata bhihi. Master your fears. What are you afraid of? Some people are afraid. Swamiji, meditation, if I go into samadhi and don't get up, no problem for you, problem only for us. What is problem for you? If you go into samadhi, if you don't come out for 3 days, we'll break a coconut over your head and build a tomb around you. What are you afraid of? But look at it, you're not afraid of that when you go to sleep. What if I don't get up? Children are. But over the time you're used to getting up from going to sleep. Though there are times when you always, You must have always known somebody who didn't get up from sleep. But you're not afraid of that. But here you are. It is your ahankara feeling that this thing disturbed. The one who always wants to be in control, feeling disturbed, because this is about surrendering control. Meditation is about giving up control. Therefore, you may feel uncomfortable with it. Don't worry. Even if you go into samadhi, your prarabdha will pull you back. Why? There are experiences to be gained, people to be met, things to be faced, things to be dealt with. They'll pull you out. Swamiji, what if my prarabdha is over? Then the best is to sit down in meditation and go. Because if your prarabdha is over, you are going to go anyway. Okay. Therefore, vigata bihi brahmachari vrate sthitaha. The person is established in brahmacharya. Meaning, brahma margeyo charati iti. This very often is translated by as though you are not going to have any sexual relationships. Which is fine if you are a sadhu, but not if you are a married person. Okay. Yeah. Therefore, a disciplined lifestyle, a spiritual life. Discipline all the way through in all functions of your life. Brahmachari vrate. That's what it means. Sita. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, what is discipline when it comes to a sexual life? Once a week, twice a week, thrice a week, once a day, twice a day. What is it? I said, I don't know. You have to decide what you think is discipline. So in yoga we have a parameter for this. Many yoga teachers wouldn't know this. Okay. Many yoga teachers may not know this. What is the paradigm? When after the action, after the night, okay, in between, before you go to sleep, when you are getting up to go to the bathroom or to drink some water, etc., are your knees feeling wobbly? If your legs are feeling wobbly, you have exceeded your quota. Okay. You have gone a bit on the higher side than brahmachari. If you are not feeling wobbly and you are fine, great. You are within those parameters. Good enough guideline? Because I can only give you a guideline. I cannot tell you anything else. Why? Because each person is different. Each person's needs are different. Okay. I know. There are a lot of jokes coming in my mind, but I will refrain from all that. Because this is a class. Okay. I will refrain from all that. Tatesitaha. Mana samyamya. Controlling their mind, mastering their mind. Machittaha yuktaha. Taking their minds to me, meaning Ishvara or pure consciousness. It can be either one. Okay. Asit mat paraha. You remain committed to me. Committed to me can be Ishvara, preparatory meditation. Committed to me can be consciousness, nididhyasana. Both are covered in this. This is the process. Okay. This is the process he's talking about. Okay. Next class, we'll actually do it. I'll quickly go over the process in the first 5 minutes, and we'll actually practice all the stages one by one, so that you can start your meditative journey. Some of you have already started, I know, or may have taken a gap here and there, or it may be in fits and starts, but you can start. At least you can have the learning over the next few classes. Every class we'll have some looking at the verses and as well as the meditation part of it, so that you are comfortable to do it independently. It will be there at the end of the videos also, if anyone wants to refer to it. I am not going to knock it off from the videos. No, I will put it up along with that. Clear up to now? Go back over the verses and see what it takes to be a meditator. Because if you look at all this, meditation itself he has described in a few words. Meditator has been paid more attention to. So go back, look at that, see where you need some fine tuning, etc. And next class we'll actually do that. Clear?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hari Om Swami.
Okay.
Thank you,
Hari Om,
Swamiji.
take care. Good place to stop. 6-5.
Thank you, Swamiji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. Pranam.
Ramji, have a great year. A happy new year to all of you. Enjoy yourself.
Thank
have
you,
fun.
Swamiji.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Have fun.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Swamiji. Same to you.
Take care.